Thanks for coming and joining me today. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Barbara Schwark. I'm an executive and life coach, trainer, and a speaker and an author, and my company is called Clear Intentions International. So, you are probably here today because you are interested in learning to get some tips about how to avoid the craziness that happens during the holidays. So I'm actually doing this just as well for myself because I also would like to have a different holiday experience this time around. So, how can we thrive during the holidays and not just survive them? That is our topic today. And let's get going because we're only going to be on for about 30 minutes. So, I want you to reflect back to last year, and it doesn't really matter if you are celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or you're not really religious. This is not about being religious. It is about the holiday season, New Year's, because usually, whether or not we are religious, this season affects all of us, and people are just getting a little bit more crazy. Today I was driving home and somebody really badly cut me off. And as I was rolling down my window to talk to the person decided to throw gum at me. So all to just remind me that we are about to enter, or maybe we are already there, a really crazy season. So if you want to stay calm, if you want to enjoy your time with your family, if you would like to calm down, if you want to relax, if you want to have some more fun this time of the year, this is for you. So listen up. Okay, I'm going to give you a few tips. And the first tip is something that is probably very familiar for you, but not always do we know how to do this. And that is do not take things personally. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes things happen and people trigger us and we take it personal. And the moment that you take it personal, it actually is about you. So until that moment, when somebody says something to you, or you're getting a look, or you feel judged, it's not about you. But the moment that you take it personal, it becomes about you. So let's talk a little bit about what we can do to not take things personal. So oftentimes the immediate gut reaction when we're getting triggered is to actually take it personal and make it about us. But immediately after that, you can strategize. And you can do this especially if you're thinking about it ahead of times, because oftentimes during the holidays, the same situation will occur. Somebody in the family might get drunk and might say some things, or your pie didn't turn out the way your mother-in-law wanted it to turn out, and she always has something to say about your cooking, or the house is not clean enough, or maybe you are disappointed about something that you didn't do. So these are usually reoccurring situations, and we call them triggers. We get triggered. And there's one of three ways that we respond to them. And this is not because I say so, and you probably have heard this already. It's because that is the way we're wired. When we're in danger and when we feel threatened and we get triggered, we do one of three things. We either fight, which means we have an aggressive response. Fight, fright, which means we're afraid and we're doing something to save ourselves, or we freeze, which is another way of saying that we're afraid. And we can see that also happening in nature. So there are those animals that will attack, there are those animals that will play dead, and then there are those animals that will run away when they feel attacked. So a trigger is nothing but an attack. And so we want to think about, what can I do? What can I do when my brother-in-law comes to me and he's drunk and he tells me, oh, Barbara, you're a terrible coach and you've never really been good, and I don't really know why people hire you. So I probably will get defensive and attack. And if I can think about this ahead of time, I might be able to respond differently. If I want to avoid the situation, I can excuse myself and go to the kitchen or something. I can be curious about what makes them say so. And there might be a list of other responses that I can have in that situation. So I want you to think about what could you do, how could you behave in those situations. And I want you to make a list of those situations that could occur. So usually people are very stressed during the holidays, which means the worst behavior comes out. And you can predict some of those situations. So just make a list of them. And then next to the potential occurrence, you can write down what could you do in order to respond differently. So excuse yourself, go to bed early, make a joke out of it. Or, sometimes we can actually put the person in their place and say, hey, please, I really would appreciate if you wouldn't make those comments. Sometimes it's not possible because people are really not, or they don't have the capacity to respond to us in those ways. So all to say, don't take things personal. And if you do, figure out ahead of time what triggers you and look at strategies that you can put into place, and so that you won't get as triggered, or that you know how to deal with them. Number 2, manage your expectations. So oftentimes we have a lot of expectations and we don't even know all the expectations that we have. We have the expectation that the dinner turns out, or the food, or whatever we're making turns out well. Or if we're going somewhere, we have the expectation that the meat will be just as good as it was last time. Or maybe we have expectations about people loving our presents, or people giving us a particular gift. So there are all kinds of expectations that we have, especially around the holidays. And so I want you to manage them, and I want you to think about, what do I expect? What are the expectations that I have of myself? And what are the expectations that I have of others? Oftentimes, when I go back home, I'm from Germany originally, and I go back and I'm with my immediate family. And we joke about this, but when we come home, even though we might be adults, we come back to see our parents, and we are with our siblings, we kind of move back into those sibling positions. I'm the middle child, and even though I am in my late 50s, I still want my mom to be my mom sometimes. And if I don't manage that expectation, I might really get hurt. In the last couple of years, she's decided that it's too much for her to have all of us at her house. So she celebrates Christmas only with one of us, and it's not me. And the first time that happened, I really got my feelings hurt because I didn't expect it. And they live there, and I fly in from far away, and I really was upset. So this year, I know that most likely this is what's going to happen. So I can manage my expectations around it, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, and how it's going to be. And that might be true for, especially for those of you who are traveling somewhere, or if you're hosting people and people coming from far away. Oftentimes we have this notion that when we get together, we are all excited and we're happy to see one another, and people are able to behave in a certain way, or maybe set their differences aside. And that's not always so, because humans are humans, and we are who we are, and sometimes we can and sometimes we can't. So think about the expectations that you have, and then once you are able to see them, take another look and see if there are any hidden expectations. 90% of us is being dominated and ruled by our subconscious and by our unconscious. And it's difficult to get to our unconscious, but the subconscious is available to us. It's a little bit like a beach ball. When I push that beach ball down, it's gone and I can't see it. But the moment that I release the pressure, the beach ball will pop up. And during the holiday season, it's often like the pressure's off the beach ball and it pops up. So when I take another look and I relax and I'm in my own sort of private, safe space, maybe with a journal, I can take a look and I can see, Oh, I didn't realize I had that expectation. Oh, I have this expectation. And so you want to look at every aspect that is connected to the season, from, you know, um, maybe the trip, maybe how you view the surroundings, your country, your customs, the stores, the store manager, everything that has to do with the music on the radio, everything that has to do with the holiday season. You want to take a look and see if you have a particular expectation, and then set them to zero as much as you can. I recently was on a family trip with my brother-in-law and his wife, who flew in from the US, and my mother-in-law took us uh, for a day to the Dead Sea, and it was nice. And one of the things that really made it nice for me was I really lowered my expectations. I had none. Actually, lowering is not correct. So I had very little expectations, as much as I could manage myself, and that made it nice, because when there are no expectations, and lowering really isn't the right way to say it. It's just to say no expectations. Then everything is a surprise. Everything is a wow, I can see it with new eyes. Oh, this is wonderful. I didn't know that this was available. So I had a nice time with my children and with everyone. And I'm glad I had the opportunity. And giving us an opportunity to go to number 3. So when you're not taking things personally, you don't have any expectation, what do you do? How do you direct yourself? Because it's always easier for us to have a good experience when I am directing myself. And if you've watched some of my previous YouTube videos, which by the way I invite you to, and please subscribe to my channel and watch my YouTubes, you will know that I'm big on intentions and goals and method. So let me just talk a little bit about intentions and goals. So for me, intention, the way I define it, and it's important, obviously, it's the part of the name of my company, Clean Intentions, is the qualitative part of the goal. Meaning, what do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? How do I want to be in my inner world? Because that is really what it's all about. When I'm happy, when I'm calm, when I'm excited, when I have joy, that is what I want to experience. And oftentimes we have all this stuff on the outside because that's what we want to experience. And we think the outside stuff is going to drive the inside. It's really the other way around. So I really want to think about first, what is my intention? And how do I want to experience my inner world? So for me, I want to be relaxed, and I want to have some joy. And once I have that, I can think about my methodology or my goals. So in this case, my intention is also my goal, which is really hard to measure, right? I could do some scales on the inside, but my intention and my goal are the same. So then I can think of what are my strategies, what are my methods. And for me, as I thought about this and prepared for it today, there were a bunch of things. One was, be well rested before I go to Germany. Put my autoresponder on and take time off so that I don't have to coach and respond to emails while I am also wanting to be with my family. And then maybe set some personal, or have some personal things that I want to do. And for me, that is spend some time with my mom alone, and spend some time with my older brother alone. And those strategies will help me to support my intention of wanting to feel joy and happiness, and being relaxed. So let me just go back for a moment to this intention, goal, and methodology concept. So if you have a goal, and the goal is to spend time with your family, you want to think about what is that going to produce, or what do I want it to produce on the inside? So meaning if I want to be relaxed and happy, or have joy, or feel like I'm contributing, that is really what you're after. And then the goal would be to spend time with your family. That could also be a methodology, meaning if I spend time with my family, then that will produce these inner states of consciousness. So think about it with the emotion first, and then think about what the goal would be, and then think about what the methodology would be. Like, maybe the overall goal is to spend time with your family, but the methodology could be, I'm going for a walk with my brother, or I'm having a cup of tea with my mom, or I am going to the Christmas market with my family to drink glühwein and eat French fries. So those would be methodologies. It's a little bit harder to describe in this context, but if you think about it in a different context, let's say exercise. Let's say, my goal was to run a marathon. And I didn't really think about intentions and methods. And I would go back to sort of analyze that. I would say, oh, what is it that I really want? And so for me, it would be, I want to feel vital, and I want to feel good about myself and strong. And then the goal would be, let's say, to run a marathon. And so if I have both of them together, I have that, I want to feel vital and strong, and my goal of wanting to run a marathon, then I have both of the best worlds. Because otherwise, if I just had the goal, maybe I wasn't feeling so good about it. Maybe it was, really misery in order for me to accomplish my goal. So all to say that really, really, really take a moment to think about, how do I want to feel this holiday season? What is it that would help me to have that emotion fulfilled? Let's see, what else do I want to say about it? I think that's really it for today. Those are the 3 things I want to leave you with. Don't take things personally. Manage your expectations, and set your intentions and your goals, and decide on your methods that will fulfill. And if you do those 3 things, I can guarantee you that you will have a very, very different holiday season. And regardless of whether you're religious or not religious, you'll have more of a plan this time, which will always guarantee you that you are more prepared and that you're open to actually receive what you want. With that, I wish you a wonderful holiday season. I really wish that all your goals, your dreams, your intentions are being manifested for you and by you. And if there's anything that I can do to get clear about it, you know where to contact me, clearintentions.net. And until I see you again, take care and Happy New Year.